The sky above Outpost 7 was always silent, always calm. Humans had built the station on the edge of neutral space to keep peace with the Velari Empire. For years, nothing strange happened there. No fights, no warnings, not even a rumor of trouble. The outpost lived in a quiet routine, and every soldier knew the pattern of every day. But on that morning, things changed. Trent Hale, a human security officer, woke up before the lights rose. He always did. He liked the silence before the alarms, before the voices, before the world remembered it was full of danger. He walked down the metal hallway with slow steps, stretching his shoulders, not expecting anything special. His shift would start in 20 minutes. He thought it would be another ordinary day. Then the first tremor hit. The walls shook. The floor vibrated. A loud, low boom rolled through the outpost like something huge had slammed into it from the outside. Trent stopped walking. His body tensed. That was not a normal sound. That was not a drill. He rushed to the nearest window and saw something he had never expected. The stars outside flickered with bright flashes, small, sharp bursts of light that did not belong to peaceful space. Those were explosions. Before he could process it, alarms screamed across the outpost. Red lights washed over the walls like flashing blood. The comms crackled with confused voices. Unknown ships closing fast. "We are under attack," repeat. "We are under attack." How the hell did they get this close? Shields failing, shields. Trent grabbed his pulse rifle from the emergency cabinet and ran toward the central hall. Soldiers sprinted past him, shouting orders. No one understood who the enemy was. No one knew why neutral space suddenly turned into a battlefield. Then another blast hit, this one stronger. The lights flickered. Dust fell from the ceiling. Trent stumbled but kept running. As he reached the main hall, he saw something that made him freeze for a second. 4 Velari guards stood in the center, forming a circle. Their weapons were up, their eyes sharp, their tails stiff with fear. And inside that circle was a small child, blue-skinned, silver-eyed, wearing a royal crest on his chest. The child of the Velari Queen. He was visiting the outpost for a diplomatic event. He was not supposed to be anywhere near danger. But danger had found him anyway. The guards shouted at Trent when he came close. "Stay back, human. We protect the heir. Move aside." Trent shouted, "I'm here to help." They hesitated for a second. Then a new explosion shook the hall. The lights went out for a moment. In that brief darkness, Trent heard something terrible, a faint clicking sound, like metal landing on the floor. When the emergency lights blinked back on, Trent saw it, a small black orb rolling toward the Velari child. A bomb. No one else noticed it. Not the guards. Not the officers. Not the staff running for shelter. Only Trent saw it. His heart kicked hard inside his chest. There was no time to think. No time to shout a warning. No time to wait for help. He sprinted forward with all his strength. The Velari guards finally saw the bomb and raised their arms, trying to shield the child with their bodies, but they were too slow. The orb was already pulsing with sharp white light, seconds away from exploding. Trent didn't slow down. He dived across the floor, sliding on his side. He reached the child, grabbed him, and pulled him close. The guards yelled, confused and frightened. Trent didn't stop. He turned his back to the bomb, curled his body around the small alien like a shield, and felt the air heat behind him. Then the explosion went off. It was loud. It was bright. It hit him like a burning hammer. The blast threw him forward. His armor cracked. His skin burned. The shockwave tore across his back with violent force. He couldn't hear anything for a moment, only a ringing sound, sharp and endless, but he didn't let go of the child, even when pain shot through his spine, even when the floor slammed into him, even when he felt consciousness slipping. He held the small alien tighter. covering him with his arms, blocking every piece of shrapnel with his own body. When the smoke cleared, he was still there, chest heaving, armor scorched, blood running down his shoulder. The guards stared at him with wide eyes. They had never seen a human throw himself over a royal heir like that. Trent looked down at the child. The boy was trembling, but unharmed. His silver eyes stared up at Trent with shock. And something deeper. Something like trust. Trent tried to speak, but his throat felt like fire. He forced the words out anyway. "You're safe." The guards rushed in. Two lifted the child from Trent's arms. Another leaned close and checked his wounds. Trent didn't fight. He couldn't. His muscles felt heavy, like his body was turning into stone. More soldiers arrived. More alarms screamed. Someone shouted that enemy ships were landing outside the station. Another voice said the Queen had been informed. Another said emergency extraction. Teams were coming, but Trent didn't hear all of it. His vision blurred. His body went cold, and the last thing he saw before darkness took him was the Velari child, reaching toward him with a small hand, calling for him with a trembling voice. "Don't let him go." Then Trent collapsed, but far away, on the flagship of the Velari Empire, the Queen received a report. A human soldier had saved her only child. A human had taken a bomb blast meant for her heir. A human had risked his life without hesitation, and the Queen did not react with calm. She stood up from her throne, her eyes burning with fierce emotion, and gave a command that sent fear through every officer in the room. "Find the human," she said. "Bring him to me." Trent woke to a soft humming sound. It was slow and steady, like a heartbeat hidden inside metal walls. His eyes opened slowly, confused by the dim blue light around him. He was lying on a medical bed, covered with a thin, warm sheet. Machines stood around him, blinking with strange symbols he didn't understand. This wasn't human tech. The air smelled different, too cleaner. Lighter, almost sweet. He tried to sit up, but pain shot across his back like fire. His breath caught, and he froze in place, gripping the side of the bed. He remembered the explosion. He remembered grabbing the child. He remembered the heat. A soft voice came from the corner. "You should not move yet." Trent turned his head. A Velari medic stood beside him, her blue skin glowing faintly under the lights. She checked a scanner and made a small clicking sound. "You survived the blast," she said. "Barely. Your body was very damaged. But you are healing well now." He blinked slowly. "Where am I?" The medic hesitated, as if choosing her words carefully. "You are on the Velari flagship. The Queen ordered your transfer." Trent's heart skipped. The Queen? Why him? Why bring him here? What did she want? Before he could ask more, the door slid open with a soft hiss. Two armored guards walked in, followed by a small figure who ran straight toward Trent. It was the child. The alien heir climbed onto the edge of the bed before the guards could stop him. His silver eyes were bright and emotional. He reached out and touched Trent's hand gently. "You woke up," the child whispered. "You didn't leave." Trent felt a slow warmth in his chest. The child looked safe now, clean clothes, soft hair, no fear in his eyes. That alone made the pain worth it. "I'm glad you're all right," Trent said softly. The guard stepped forward. "Prince Kale, you must not approach." But Kale waved them away with surprising confidence. "He saved me. I will see him." The guards fell silent. Kale looked back at Trent with a small smile. "My mother wants to speak with you." The warmth in Trent's chest turned into a tight knot of nerves. The Queen. He had no idea what meeting her meant. She was powerful, important, and now connected to him in ways he didn't understand. The guards gestured for Trent to get up, but the medic stopped them. "He cannot walk yet. The treatment is not finished." One guard spoke. The Queen insists. The medic sighed and adjusted a floating chair beside the bed. Trent was gently moved into it. The machine lifted him smoothly, supporting his injured back. Kale walked beside him like a small shadow, never letting go of the chair. They traveled through long halls filled with Velari soldiers. Every one of them stared at Trent with curious, almost reverent eyes. It made him uneasy. He was just a security officer from a quiet outpost. He didn't understand why they looked at him, like he was someone important. The doors at the end of the hall opened slowly. The throne room was large and bright, built from shining white metal that reflected soft blue light. At the center stood the Queen, tall, graceful, and fierce. Her eyes were a deep silver, older and sharper than her child's. Her presence filled the room. Like heat from a fire, Trent felt the air grow heavier when she looked at him. Kale rushed forward and stood beside her. He held her hand tightly and pointed back at Trent. "He saved me, Mother." The Queen did not blink. She only stepped closer, her eyes scanning Trent's face slowly, as if memorizing every detail. "So you are the human who threw himself over my son," she said. "You chose to die for him." Trent swallowed. "I did what anyone should do." "No," she said softly. "Not anyone." Many guards were there. None reached him in time. "Only you." She circled him slowly, studying him from every angle. Trent felt exposed, like she could see through him, through his thoughts, through his fears. "You used your body to shield a child of my blood. My only heir. My future." Her voice lowered. "Such an act cannot be ignored." Trent didn't know what to say. He didn't know what she expected. The Queen moved to stand in front of him again, her expression unreadable. "You will stay here," she said. Trent blinked. "Stay here? On the flagship?" "For now," she replied. "Until I decide what is right." He tried to steady his voice. "My station, my people. Your station is destroyed," she said quietly. The attackers targeted it first. There were heavy casualties. The words hit him like another blast. He closed his eyes, feeling the weight of loss press against him. "This attack," Trent whispered. "Who was behind it?" The Queen's jaw tightened. "We do not yet know. But they wanted my son dead. They wanted the Velari line to fall. And they used your outpost as the battleground." Her voice became sharp and cold. "That alone makes you part of this war now." Trent opened his eyes. "What do you want from me?" The Queen stepped closer, so close he could see the faint glow in her silver irises. "I want to understand you," she said. "Humans are unpredictable, dangerous, strange, and yet you protected my child with a loyalty I have never seen." Her voice softened, like she was speaking from somewhere deep inside. "I do not give trust easily. But you have earned something I cannot ignore." Kale looked up at his mother, his tiny hand gripping hers. "Let him stay with us," he whispered. "Please." The Queen touched Kale's head gently, then looked back at Trent with a firm decision in her eyes. "You will not be returned to Earth. You will not be sent away. You will remain under my protection. And you will remain close." Trent felt his chest tighten. This was not a request. It was a command. A soft vibration suddenly shook the floor. Soldiers rushed into the hall. "Your Majesty, enemy ships detected again. They are approaching fast." The Queen's expression changed in an instant, calm turning to warlike focus. She pointed to her guards. "Take the human to the secured chamber. Do not lose him." Trent's chair began moving, pushed by the guards. Kale tried to follow, but the Queen held his shoulder. "Stay with me." "Kale." The child looked torn but obeyed. As Trent was taken away, he caught one last look at the Queen. Her eyes followed him, not with anger, not with fear, but with something deeper. Possession, connection, and a promise he did not yet understand. The guards moved Trent quickly through the long corridor as the ship shook again from distant impacts. The alarms were not loud this time. They were low, pulsing, almost like a warning heartbeat echoing through the walls. It meant the threat was serious. He could feel it too. This enemy wasn't done. They wanted the Velari heir. And maybe him as well. Now that he was connected to the Queen, the guards pushed open a door leading into a secured chamber. The room was small, built from hardened metal, with faint blue lights glowing across the walls. A soft energy shield shimmered over the entrance as the door sealed behind him. Trent tried to sit up straighter. His body still hurt, but he could think clearly now. He wasn't a prisoner. But he wasn't free either. He was something in between. Minutes passed. The ship trembled again. He heard distant shouting. Then silence. Finally, the door opened. But it wasn't guards this time. It was the Queen. She stepped inside with slow, controlled movements. Her eyes were focused, intense, like someone carrying both anger and fear inside the same heart. Behind her, 2 guards waited outside. The door and closed it once she entered. She was alone with him. Trent felt the tension in the room shift. Queen looked at him for a long moment before speaking. The enemy tried to break through. "The outer shields," she said. "They failed. But only barely. Do you know who they are?" Trent asked. "Yes," she answered softly. "They call themselves the Fracture. A rogue faction. They wish to end my line and take the throne. And today they used your station as their path." Trent looked down. "So my outpost was in the way." "It was more than that," she said. "They wanted my son dead. They wanted chaos. And you stopped the first attack with your own life." Her voice lowered. Trent met her eyes again. "You saved what is most important to me," she said. "And that creates a bond I cannot ignore." He breathed slowly. "You said before that I must stay. But why me? I'm no hero. I just reacted." "That reaction," she said steadily, "is what makes you dangerous. In all the ways that matter." She stepped closer to him. The light caught her eyes, making the silver inside them glow like living metal. "Velari soldiers are trained to think before they act," she continued. "They calculate. They predict. But you threw yourself into death without thinking at all." "It wasn't heroic," Trent said quietly. "It was instinct. And yet," she said, "you were the only one who moved fast enough. The only one who chose the child over your own life." Trent didn't answer. He couldn't find the words. The Queen studied him for another long moment. Then she spoke again, her voice softer. "My people believe life debts are sacred. When someone risks everything to protect the royal line, they become part of that line forever." Trent's eyes widened slightly. "What does that mean for me?" "It means," she said, "you will not be allowed to return to a simple life. Not anymore." He swallowed hard. "Your Majesty, I didn't do this for a reward." Her expression didn't change. "This is not a reward. It is a responsibility." He felt the weight of her words settle inside him. Responsibility, not freedom. Not choice, something deeper. The Queen looked away for a moment, as if gathering her thoughts. When she turned back to him, her expression carried something he had not seen before, something vulnerable. "When the bomb went off," she said quietly, "I felt the shock through the bond I share with my child. And when I learned a human had been the one to protect him, I expected anger. I expected resentment." Her voice lowered. "Instead, I felt gratitude. Stronger than I expected." Trent felt a strange chill in his chest. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," she said, stepping even closer, "I want you to understand what you have become." He stared at her, unsure of what she meant. "You are not a hostage," she said. "And you are not a servant." She paused. "You are someone I intend to keep close. Someone I intend to protect. Someone whose life matters to me now." Trent's breath caught for a moment, before he could respond. The door suddenly opened, and Kale rushed inside with a burst of energy. "Mother!" he cried. "Are we safe now?" The Queen knelt to him instantly, checking him for injuries. "Yes, my son. For now." Kale turned toward Trent, his eyes bright with relief. "I was worried they took you away," he said. "You saved me. You stay with us now. You have to." Trent felt a knot form in his throat. The Queen rose again, her hand resting gently on Kale's shoulder. "My son is right," she said. "You saved his life. Now your life is tied to ours." The ship vibrated softly again, a distant rumble, but not an attack this time. The engines shifted to a calmer hum. The danger was passing. The Queen watched Trent with eyes that carried a firm decision. "Come with us," she said. "Not as a soldier, not as a visitor, but as someone we claim as our own." Trent held her gaze. The fear he felt earlier slowly changed into something else, something unexpected. Security, purpose, a belonging he had never known before. He nodded slowly. The Queen breathed out, almost like she had been holding that breath for too long. Kale smiled brightly and grabbed Trent's hand. The Queen touched Trent's shoulder. Gentle but firm. "You saved my future," she said. "Now we protect yours." The door opened again. Guards waited. The lights outside the chamber glowed softly. No longer warning red. The war would continue later, but for now. The human who saved the alien Queen's child walked out beside them, no longer alone, and no longer uncertain about where he belonged. He was part of them now, and the Queen would never let him go.